Hello, everybody. This is JJ with the Obama Factor 727. I just want to thank you for spending a few moments with me. I try to keep these videos under 10 minutes, but they're very informative and kind of bring you up to speed on what's going on in major news, uh, especially what Obama's doing to our country. Some of the things I'd like to ask you to do is to like the video, share it with your friends, neighbors, and strangers. If you'd like to email me, please email me at the obamafactor727@gmail.com. Now, I'm going to talk about Obamacare, and then I'm going to talk about Benghazi for a little bit, just kind of bring you up to speed, to make you aware, because a lot of people don't have time to watch the news or to watch the congressional hearings on Benghazi. Well, with Obamacare, he's out there celebrating 7.1 million people have signed up, which, by the way, has not been validated by anybody other than Obama saying it. And also, they're already reporting that 20% of the people that have signed up are not paying their premiums. Now, remember, over 6 million people lost their policies. In fact, if he hadn't suspended Obamacare, which he has, for a majority of the Affordable Care Act, he has suspended it, up to 30 million to 50 million people would have lost their insurance or would have to sign up for a more expensive plan with larger deductibles. And that's not being covered very much, but that is the God honest truth. That's the only reason why Obama has suspended this plan. And like I said, remember, he made over 37 major changes to this law after it was passed, which is completely unconstitutional. Mr. Obama ought to be impeached. Honestly, he should not be in office. Every time he talks about a major issue, it's a lie. Remember when he said there wasn't a smidgen of evidence with the IRS scandal? And we know that Lois Lerner, she's pleading the fifth. She's so afraid of the truth. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's called the Affordable Care Act, and it's not affordable, and it's not helping. It costs more. The deductibles are more for a majority of the people, so I'm just frustrated. But anyway, so he's out there touting, so I had to say something today. It's been 4 years. It's still not working. Oh, let's talk about Maryland. The state of Maryland, by the way, has canceled their website after they spent anywhere from $125 million to $200 million on that website. And now they're scrapping it. They're just going to shut it down. And let's take another state, Oregon. The state of Oregon hasn't signed up one person to the Affordable Care Act because of their website. And, so hundreds of millions of dollars are being spent on these websites that aren't working. In fact, it's been reported by the Office of Management and Budget that it's going to cost an additional $10 billion to manage the websites a year. In fact, Obama promised, one of his other promises when he first brought this out, that he said that this wouldn't add one dime to the deficit. And we already know it's going to cost $10 billion or more to manage this. So that was one of the lies. And remember, he said, if you like your doctor, you can keep him, period. Lie. If you like your plan, you can keep it, period. Lie. If you like the hospital you've been going to, you can continue going to that hospital. Another lie. And he said that your cost of your insurance is going to be less than your cell phone bill. Wrong. I checked mine. My insurance for a single guy my age, which we won't talk about that, but it was like almost $800 a month. And I hardly ever go to, well, in fact, I can't even remember the last time I went to a doctor. But $700 a month from a major medical policy of $150 a month. So that major medical policy is gone. But according to Obama, I have to spend $800 a month for Obamacare. I won't do it. I refuse. I will not sign up for Obamacare. And I won't pay the fine. in fact, the IRS has no authority to collect that fine. There's no regulations within the Affordable Care Act that gives them the authority to collect that money. It's been reported. In fact, there's a Wisconsin senator, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of it. But anyway, he was on the news the other day, and he's saying these numbers that the White House and Health and Human Services are reporting are smoke and mirrors, that they're a complete lie. This is not from me. This is from a senator. And you can Google that and find, I wish I would have it. I think he's from Wisconsin. I believe he's from Wisconsin. starts with a B. His name starts with a B, but whatever. Anyway, so when I hear this stuff, my jaw hits the floor, and I try to write a quick note about it so I can share it on the Obama Factor. Now, I do these videos from time to time just when I get really frustrated. And so when I saw Obama up on stages and some college, I think it was in Michigan, whatever, touting that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, which is a complete lie. People are hurt by it. People's budgets are being killed by it. Oh, this is crazy. Health and Human Services has stated that this time next year, the premiums are going to double for most states. Okay, so if I'm paying $800 a month. That means next year my premiums could go up to $1,600 a month. What? Nuts. This is nuts. It's a form of slavery, you guys. That's all it is. It's slavery. You have a tyrannical government forcing you to buy something that you have the freedom not to buy, but they're going, no, you got to buy it. I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing people in jail, or they'll come up with provision. If you don't buy it, you go to jail. Now, I know this is going to flip. It's going to flip some of you guys out when I tell you this, but I got to tell you anyway. There is a provision within the Affordable Care Act that calls for a medical chip or device, level 3 device, that's implanted within the body that covers all your medical and personal data. That is in the law. You can check it out. It hasn't been enforced. It was supposed to be enforced in March of last year, but it hasn't because people are just flipping out over it. Anyway, the Dems are offering some changes because they know that they're going to lose their seats in October unless there's complete voter fraud that happens. And trust me, there's a lot of voter fraud that goes on today. You look at the illegal aliens, when they register to vote, all they need is a phony driver's license. We never validate if the driver's license is correct. We don't even validate their names, their addresses. Well, they might validate the address, but they don't validate their citizenship. All they do is check a box that says they're a U.S. citizen, but we do not validate that whatsoever. Not one government agency will validate a registration to vote by an illegal alien. So that's why they're hoping to give amnesty to another 11 to 12 million illegals, which we know is way more than that, because they get a free phone, they get an Obama phone, they get free housing if they have babies, and they get free food. So who's going to say no to that? Anyway, that's enough of Obamacare. Let's talk about Benghazi. Benghazi's been going on now for 18 months, this investigation by, I think there's 4 different congressional investigations going on about this. And Mike Morell, who was the head of the CIA at the time that this happened, is the one that changed all the talking points to the lies that were reported on Sunday on the Sunday shows by Susan Rice. Now, his section chief of Benghazi reported in his report that it's come out in the congressional hearings that, in fact, there was no protest, that this wasn't a terrorist attack. But Mike Morell changed that. In fact, he even said he had no idea where the video comment came from Susan Rice. He had no idea where they got that information, when in fact it was the responsibility of the CIA to create the talking points for Susan Rice and to be approved by the White House. Now, there were some things that went back and forth. It's been reported, and I watched the congressional hearings from the White House back and forth to the CIA, and that the State Department had dropped the ball. But he was ordered to leave that out of the talking points because, as you know, the ambassador had asked for additional security in advance of the 9/11 anniversary. So that was denied by Hillary Clinton. It was going to be fun to watch her run for president, trust me on that. But anyway, so lies continue about what's going on. In fact, Morell, the CIA chief, relied on the analysts. This is what his excuse was. He goes, look, the analysts at Langley saw it differently than the section chief in Benghazi, the guy on the ground, the guy with boots on the ground who had more access to witnesses and that type of thing. No, we're going to ignore him, and we're going to pay attention to the analysts at Langley because they're smarter, they know more. Yeah, and so he just lies. Remember, he's a spook. He's a spook. He's a major spook. Spooks lie. They're trained to lie. They're trained to look you straight in the eye and just lie. So, he's a spook. He's been a spook for 30 years. But anyway, so remember, 4 men died. This is worse than Nixon's Watergate scandal. At least they had a break-in. Nobody died. But as Nixon was impeached, I believe Obama should be impeached over the Benghazi debacle and 4 men dying and lack of support. And Mike Morrell, by the way, he got additional help, additional CIA agents to recover the bodies the next day, but yet we could not get any troops in there to support them within the 8-hour time frame of attacks, which is another lie. We had armed drones. We knew exactly what was going on. They were listening to live video, and the lies continue. Just remember, every time Obama opens his mouth on any major issue, it's a lie. Remember the IRS, there's not a smidgen of corruption. And O'Reilly was trying to pin him down on that, but he avoided answering any questions as usual. Anyway, I was checking the coverages. And remember, this is a major investigation by our Congress into Benghazi 18 months later. And they've been delayed by Mike Morrell and the CIA for months and months and months. And they had a closed door, but they wanted to bring it out in the public, which they just did today. So we're learning that Mike Morrell is the one that created the talking points, that changed the talking points from what was true. And looks like Fort Hood. There's another shooting at Fort Hood going on right now. That's going to be interesting. That's probably interesting. Their Benghazi thing just ended, and now we got a Fort Hood thing going on. Interesting. Anyway, so I was just checking the coverage from NBC, ABC, CBS, and MSN. No coverage of this Benghazi congressional hearing, not one. The only major news media is cable news, which is Fox. Even the other cable news providers are not covering the Benghazi. So anyway, it's surprising. Well, maybe it shouldn't be surprising, but again, it's just a major cover-up when our major media is not even discussing that the head of the CIA changed the talking points. It's being reported that he changed the talking points, and nobody's talking about it. So this is our government right now. We can make changes. We can be the change. I am the change. I will not sign up for Obamacare. We need to create a protest. Hopefully I'm the spark. Let's get it started. Let's start a fire of change. Well, this is JJ. Thanks for tuning in to the Obama Factor 727. I look to talk to you on the flip side. I'm out.